Of all the unlockables in the First Descendant, none are bigger game changers than the playable characters, each with their own unique abilities and build crafting potential. But if you'd rather not shell out real world money to take one of these Descendants for a spin, here's a guide on how to unlock characters for free. To get started on your likely lengthy grind to unlock a character, you'll want to go to the social space of Albion and look for the Magister called Anais. You can find her by hanging a right after spawning in town and chat her up at the far end of the western wing of this place. Anais will be your master of research in all things, be it weapons to enhancement parts and of course characters. To get started, select the Descendants menu and find the character you're interested in playing as. Click on them to examine the key items you'll need to be able to research them. All characters require 4 items: an enhanced cell, a stabilizer, a spiral catalyst, and a code. Unfortunately, all of these key items have to be crafted individually, and each of them requires their own set of farmable items of their own and a time gate you'll have to wait out before you can obtain them. If that sounds needlessly complicated, it's because it is. They are trying to get you to spend money after all. Anyway, here's how to do it for free. So you can click on each of the 4 key items one by one and take a look at the components you'll need to gather to research them. Most require a bunch of random materials you'll likely already have on hand from just playing the game, plus 1 unique component you'll need to go out and hunt for. All of these components can be farmed by completing specific activities though, so for those materials you're missing, click on them and drill down into which activity or activities has a chance to drop them. Clicking on the name of the activity that appears will take you to the map where you can find said activity. From there, you just need to travel to that zone and run the activity as many times as it takes to get it to drop. You can even hover over the activity on the map if you want to see what the odds are of getting a specific material to drop. Fair warning, some of these items say they drop at fairly reasonable rates, but seem to be dropping much more sparsely. For example, it took us 8 hours of replaying the same mission to get 1 component to drop that says it has a 20% drop chance. That doesn't seem quite right, Nexon. You might want to check your math on that one. Before you jump straight into grinding, you should know that some items won't drop from the activity itself, but from a consumable called Amorphous Materials that must be acquired first from a separate activity, then used at the conclusion of that activity. Amorphous Materials are consumables that give you a chance at a specific pool of rare loot when used. Each Amorphous Material has its own pattern number and lists the loot that can be awarded when consuming it, but you can only do so by completing another specific activity and interacting with the reconstructed device that appears as a reward. The reconstructed device will allow you to consume certain Amorphous Materials and randomly give you one of the possible loot drops listed. If you want to manipulate your odds at gaining a specific item, you also have the ability to use shape stabilizers, which can be farmed on their own and are completely optional. The great thing about Amorphous Materials is that they're extremely easy to get, dropping reliably from whichever activity rewards them, so you're able to repeat that activity as many times as you want to stack up a bunch of them. In short, if a certain component you need says it only drops from a certain amorphous material, you'll need to go and grind whichever activity grants that amorphous pattern, then go and do whichever activity generates a reconstructed device that lets you consume that pattern, which you can find by scrolling over the amorphous material in your inventory and clicking the button prompt for Link Reconstructed Device, which tells you which activities will let you use that pattern. Yes, we do realize this is a bit convoluted and it seems by design. Again, they want you to spend money, but we're telling you how to get it for free. Claiming your Descendant, once you've got all the materials to research a key item, return to Anais to begin the research. You'll have to wait a few hours before they're done. Do this with all 4 of the key items needed to research a character, and you'll be able to research the character itself, which carries an even longer time gate before you can return and claim the avatar as your own. But after the research timer has elapsed, you'll be able to return to Anais one last time and claim the Descendant. Go to the menu, navigate to the Descendants tab, and select the new character while in Albion to swap over to that new character. And there you have have it, that's how you unlock a character completely free in the First Descendant. It might be a little complex and extremely grindy, but hey, that's the price you pay in lieu of spending actual money. Happy hunting. For more, check out our review of First Descendant, and for everything else, stick with IGN.